organisations or and tournaments and competitions that aren't associated with schools and unis, how do you think they can attract the sort of partnerships that you would need to get off the ground and start building a consistent infrastructure?
So for those who aren't involved with schools and universities, I think that the most important part you can do is ally or be with somebody who has some form of physical location that isn't always used. Sports clubs are a really easy and obvious version of that, and I think that a number of sports brands may have overemphasized their brand and their IP over their hard assets, which they may not value as much as someone in esports does. But there's all sorts of other groups who could do this. It's those who have potential locations which are not always being used, which have good internet, and you can bring in hardware relatively cheaply these days. So those who are involved in casinos, for instance, are an obvious one or potentially controversial one. But anyone who has a physical location that isn't always being used and can be brought into that tech relatively easily, it's all fair game really from there.
And how's ESI London 2019 been for you so far, and why did you decide to come along?
ESI London is a fantastic event. It's fantastic for a number of reasons. You have people from all sorts of different backgrounds, from those from governments all the way to brands, all the way to professional teams, to experts within the industry. And it's such a great place because everyone is very honest, very friendly. It's not like a number of conferences I've been to in other entertainment forums where everyone knows everybody else. They're very open, and I think it's just great value for money for what you're getting, really. It's not everyone agrees with everyone else as well, but that's that's part of the course, and everyone's very respectful of that.
And have you got any major goals for yourself over the next 12 months or so?
Well, other than selling my study, which I've been plugging ruthlessly, I think that for me, I'm quite keen to understand policies around governments and what they're trying to do, because I think that they are a slow entrant to this market, but they're definitely interested. And I think that you have two types of groups there. You have those who say that video gaming is the reason why they have issues in their own countries, which is, frankly, ridiculous. Or you have groups who are seeing this as an opportunity for jobs, opportunities for communities to build, and also ultimately as a force for good, really. And that's be amazing to continue to work with those groups.
So we've got some questions from Jinx as well. So what was the first game you played or you remember playing?
Sonic the Hedgehog, the first one on the Mega Drive. I've been an enthusiastic, if awful gamer for over 25 years now. Distinctly mediocre.
Brilliant. And what was your favourite esports moment so far in 2019?
The International has to be, surely. Yeah, it has to be the International. It's just such a great event. Personally, I'm a massive fan of Counter-Strike and that particular piece, but it's just such a special event, though, isn't it?
So, what are you looking for in esports more broadly?
I think esports, it's getting beyond the hype and trying to say that we are worth investing in and we're for real, and actually coming to the table with genuine propositions of how they're going to improve their commercial proposition and offering, but also as an industry, how it's going to really build that sustainability piece. Because the amazing thing about the community at the moment is it's had no investment really whatsoever, actually, and yet it's thriving and pottering along just fine. So it's been able to really help that and stop the feeling of it being work on the basis that salmon will swim upstream regardless. And I think that that's something which the community is starting to do, especially in the business sector of it.
And why do you like esports so much, and why did you choose to get involved?
I find esports fascinating. It's unique in the way that it does things. It is kind of starting from scratch a little bit, so it doesn't have the legacy issues that others do. The growth potential is enormous, and it's an area where we're starting to see, I think, the beginnings of a shifting generational piece around entertainment. So it's not just a case of going to a football ground and so forth. There's a whole mix of different things of the digital world, experience economy, and that type of piece. And I think it's kind of the leading edge of what may well be happening elsewhere as well. So fantastic and amazing industry to be part of. This is David Fenlon at ESI London 2019.